Hey guys, I'm coming at you raw and real because we're going to talk how to apply these 4 colors in under 5 minutes. Before we get started, let me tell you what's in this palette. I have a main highlight color. Think of that as your foundation. That's going to be the color that's closest to your skin tone. I have an accent highlight. Think of that like your concealer. It's going to be a touch lighter and it's going to brighten a couple key places. Then we have some contour. This is several shades darker than your skin tone and it's going to bring back shape and dimension. And then I have a lip and cheek shade, which is going to add a pop of color back into your face. So I have my colors in my compact in the order in which I apply them. I always start with my foundation, but with this makeup, there are no rules. Some like to start with their contour and then apply their foundation, while others kind of do it in the order that I do. It's personal preference, but again, I set my palette up in the order in which I'm going to apply. All right, so I grabbed my blush bronzer brush to apply. You grab your brush and follow along. Okay, let me give you a little bit of a tip before we get started. These 2 shades right here, your highlight shades, they're a softer product, which means when I go to pick it up on my brush, I'm not going to swipe my brush through the product because it's too soft. You're going to end up picking up too much product and it's going to shift everything out of your tin. However, your contour and your lip and cheek, they're a little bit more firm. So in my contour, I do actually swipe through the product to get it on my brush. Now, I'm going to just do a traditional brush application and I'm going to start right here in my area where I would have a beard and a mustache. There are no rules with this makeup. You can apply it. You've probably seen the dots all over your face, but some people, that's just a little bit too abstract. So they like a more traditional brush on method. So with that, you are going to stamp your makeup on, don't swipe, and you're going to apply your first color here, your foundation, in the areas that you have a beard and a mustache. Okay, now that we have our beard and mustache, we're gonna take the same shade and we're gonna go underneath our eyes. Now, again, you're going to want to stamp the product on. I will say sometimes I do swipe to get it off my brush, but I always make sure I stamp, especially under these eyes, because if you're anyone that has any fine lines and wrinkles, if you swipe it on, you're actually gonna be highlighting those fine lines and wrinkles versus if you stamp it on, you're gonna be camouflaging them. Okay, now we're gonna work on that nose and our forehead. So I'm gonna make a T across my forehead and I'm just gonna stamp that on again because I'm trying to camo any fine lines and wrinkles I have across my forehead. And then I'm gonna carry that color down my nose. Okay, so that's it for our first shade, my main highlight or foundation shade. I don't have any product right here and I don't have any product right here because that's where this color is going to go. However, if you are someone that needs a little extra coverage or you feel like you have some skin integrity issues on your cheeks, definitely you can carry that foundation or that highlight color all the way up just for that added coverage. Now we're going to move into this color here. Now for me personally, I just take a finger and do it right here on the inner corner and outer corner of my eye. We're not doing this big triangle under the eyes. It's too much product. It's going to cake and crease up on you and just show more texture under the eyes. We don't want that. So you're gonna do a dot on the inner corner and the outer corner. You're gonna do a couple dots in the middle of your forehead, under your nose, and the middle of your chin. You're gonna take your same brush and you're gonna start to blend that in. So again, just by stamping, don't swipe, just by stamping, you can blend this highlight shade. So this is our accent. You can blend the shade right in. This outer corner dot right here, always blend it upward again by stamping. But what that's gonna do, that placement right there, that actually helps give you a little bit of a lifted look. So at this point, you're gonna look at your makeup and you're gonna say, I'm feeling a little bit flat and I'm feeling a little bit washed out. Your skin is gonna be nice and color corrected and it should be a pretty even skin tone. However, you guys, we need this color right here to add back that shape and dimension. So for me personally, when using this brush or any of the brushes that are a little bit fatter on the end and doing contour, I always like to take my brush and pinch it. And remember, it's a more firm product, so I'm gonna actually have to swipe my brush through the product to pick it up on the brush. Now, for my forehead, I'm gonna take this product and I'm just gonna draw a rainbow across my forehead. I will say, if you're someone who feels like you have a shorter forehead, keep it really close to the hairline. If you're someone that feels like you have a taller forehead, you're gonna bring yours down just a bit more. Now, you can contour onto the temples here to give your forehead just like a little bit more narrow appearance. However, if you're someone that already has a narrow forehead, or you're one of my more mature ladies, you're gonna want to avoid this area right here because oftentimes we're already narrow there or have lost a little bit of volume. We don't wanna make this look more narrow than it already is. As far as contouring the cheeks, I'm gonna take that brush, I'm gonna have it pinched again, and I'm gonna start at the top of my ear. Now for me personally, I like to place my contour just a bit higher because it's gonna give me a lifted look. You really want it to hug right here on the cheekbone, but for me, I actually place mine on top of the cheekbone, and I'm just doing a little stamp. So I'm starting at the top of my ear, and I'm stopping before I get to the outer corner of my eye. So we're gonna repeat that on the other side. You're essentially making a smudge, maybe about 1.5 to 2 inches long. You can also contour your jawline if you prefer. You're gonna wanna do it underneath, not on your face. And I will say, if you're one of my more mature ladies, you may wanna avoid your chin when contouring your jawline. Now we're gonna start to blend these shades in, and we're gonna just do those circular and stamping motions. I typically do the circular motions on the jawline. For the cheek here, I like to kind of feather or stamp it upward, always blending upward with the contour, stamping it out just like this. If you start blending it down, it's gonna pull down your face and create a shadow way down here, and it's gonna make you look more sunken in, and we don't want that. So always blend upward. That's even gonna help create a little bit more of a lifted look. So I'm gonna sit here and just stamp it in. Now granted, you can over blend this. However, if you mess up, just keep blending and it's gonna go away, but you can over blend this. So all we wanna do is we don't wanna take away the darkness. See how I'm just doing some circular like buffing motions? We don't want to take away the darkness. We just want to blend it in so it's not that harsh line we created. With the forehead, always push it upward too, so that you get right here in this hairline, so that you don't have this beautifully contoured forehead and then this white scalp line. And our last shade is the lip and cheek. I typically apply mine with my finger and stamp it on, but you can also just tap your brush in here and then stamp it on right here. Now I like to keep my blush to the outer portion of my face. However, you may choose to keep yours right on the apples of your cheeks. It's personal preference. I just like the more lifted look that the outer portion of my face gives me. And that's it. Now I did finish up with filling in my eyebrows and adding a little mascara, but that's how you can do a 4-color application using a brush with this palette here.